Hello students, welcome to Reddy's classes and this is Mr. Reddy. So far we all are busy with science lectures, maths lectures and social studies. But now time has come for languages. Yes, we are going to start the 10th standard SSC English language syllabus with the first unit, first poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by the poet of the universe, or he's also called as Vishwakavi Rabindranath Tagore, right? अभी तक हम साइंस सोशल पे बहुत बिजी हो गया, लेकिन लैंग्वेज भी स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. See, simple that the point is that learn always English language through poems and through prose, stories, or grammar through English language only. The more you try to get habituated to listen the stories in Hindi or your Marathi mother tongues or something like that, the more you get habituated. So if the more you get habituated to Hindi, the less you will be able to write it in English. So if you get habituated to listen the entire poem or story in English language only, then you can easily write the appreciation of the poem in English so smoothly, just like that. Right? So please understand us. My intention of telling you is that we are going to teach you in Reddy's classes the particular language of English language only in English. There is no point of explaining English language in Hindi or Marathi or any other vernacular languages. The purpose of keeping this language is to improve your skills, communication and enhance your literature skills. So please understand that we are going to teach every lesson and poem and the grammar, of course, we are going to teach in English language. So please cooperate, right? So let's start the first poem, that is the unit 1, Where the Mind is Without Fear, right? And let's start. You all know, guys, Rabindranath Tagore, the world famous poet and the poet of India. Is also called as, sometimes is compared to Mahakavi Kalidas. Is also called as the Shakespeare of India regarding poetry. Now he is called as Vishwakavi, the poet of the universe. Students, the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear is taken from his anthology, that is Gitanjali. Rabindranath Tagore wrote a collection of poems. He wrote many poems in one book and he published as a collection, right? That is called anthology, that is called Gitanjali. And from that Gitanjali, one of the poems is Where the Mind is Without Fear. And now, what is the speciality of this poem? He actually wrote this poem or the collection of poems Gitanjali in Bengali language, his mother tongue. Later in 1912 or somewhere around, he translated the entire Bengali poems of Gitanjali into English language. Then this got the attention of the world. Then you know that in 1913, Rabindranath Tagore was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature for his poem Gitanjali. And in that Gitanjali poems collection, one of the best poems is mostly discussed, vastly read and mostly discussed poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear, right? And it's very inspirational poem. Now coming to a little bit, we'll know about Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, born in 1861 and died in 1941, was the author of Gitanjali and its profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse. So, जो गीतांजलि poems लिखा था, sensitive, beautiful poem, इसका author poet है Rabindranath Tagore. He was born in 1861 and died in 1941. And he became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. I would like to tell you one point here, stressing that till 1913, then when the Nobel Prize was established, incorporated by Alfred Nobel, right? By Alfred Nobel. The Nobel Prize was never given for non-Europeans. That means all the poets who got Nobel Prize were either Europeans or Americans or the Westerners. But the first time Nobel Prize for Literature was given to a non-European, that is an Asian and that too an Indian, and he is none but Rabindranath Tagore, right? Now coming to this Rabindranath Tagore's poem, we would like to understand that Rabindranath Tagore got this Nobel Prize for Literature for his poem, that is Where the Mind is Without Fear. Now, this poem is one of his vastly read, discussed poems, and so this is the vastly read poem and discussed poems also. Out of these poems, in the entire Gitanjali poems, this is much read. And it was originally composed in Bengali, as I told you, and later it was translated, and for this work he got the Nobel Prize. But why he got Nobel Prize? Because in this poem he sensitively inspires. This poem is inspirational, this poem is sensitive, this poem is positive, this poem is emotional, this poem is fresh, and this poem is beautiful for every day. It's a beautiful poem because every freedom fighter, every man who is fighting for freedom, every man who is fighting for self-respect, every man who is fighting for dignity, every man who loves struggle likes this poem because this poem inspires complete freedom. Now let's go and read the poem now. Right? Now, see this. This poem especially, I would like to add one more thing. This poem was written during the independence struggle. We all know that, students, Rabindranath Tagore lived during British rule, right? I told he was born in 1861 and died in 1940. And at that time, what happened? 1941. So before Mahatma Gandhi was born. Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1869 and he was born in 1861 and died in 1941. So he saw the Britishers rule in India, how people were suppressed, oppressed under the British rule, and how people were, there was no unity. Indians में unity नहीं था. There was no unity for fighting for independence. That Muslims are on one way and Muslims started their own path called, Muslim League of India, and Hindu leaders, and they all gathered in one way, and Communist Party on one side, and all the Congress party leaders under the leadership of Gandhiji. So the society was divided on the name of color, caste, creed, religion, gender, and there was a lot of social differences in the country. Social and economic differences, caste differences, color differences, religious differences, rich and poor differences. Looking at all these things, Rabindranath Tagore observed, as there was no unity in this country, we could not achieve freedom so fastly. Yes. So if the same trend continues, agar kabhi bhi independence to aayega humko, definitely we are going to get independence in future. But after getting independence, but if the same differences, religious differences, color, caste differences, aisa hai to kaise rahega? How can we exist? How can we run this country, this independent country? So he wrote a prayer to God. He prayed God in this poem. So Gitanjali means a prayer to God. That is, he is just praying to God that, oh God, give us complete freedom, not a temporary freedom or half freedom or partial freedom. What do you mean by complete freedom, sir? Anyway, we'll get political freedom. Britishers छोड़ के गया तो क्या होता है? Political freedom. After political freedom, we must forget the color, caste, creed differences, rich and poor differences. And ये सब differences गया तो that is called social freedom and economic freedom. We should have no barriers between people, no narrow minds, no other struggles. So through this poem, the poet prays and offers a prayer to God. He requests to God to give a complete freedom to this country and complete freedom to the world, where he asks the God to awake Indians. Indians ko jagao Bhagwan, and see that we all have a complete freedom of, that is social freedom, economic freedom and political freedom, etc. Now let's read the poem in a quick minute. The poem is that where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of the truth, and where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. See that? So this poem is a free verse poem. There is no rhyming scheme. If you see the last lines, there is no rhyming scheme, no rhyme scheme at all. It's a free verse, right? Without any particular meter like tetrameter or octameter, any kind of 8-line style, 4-line style, nothing. No meter, no rhyme scheme, and this is a free verse. Free verse means free poem. Now let's come back to let's analyze the poem. Where the mind is without fear. See the beautiful line. The line itself gives the dignity. Where the mind is without fear and dread. I want such country. Oh God, give me freedom where the mind is without fear. So Britishers leave us and go. But where after independence also, man, every individual, every citizen, every man and woman, every child, right, should stay with such mind without fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. जहाँ पे हम सर उठा के जीना with pride, self-respect, dignity. Where knowledge is free. I want such country and such freedom and such world where the knowledge is, education is free to all. Right? Knowledge is not related to, restricted to, constrained to only upper caste people or rich people. Knowledge must be available to all. Right? And where the world has not been broken up into fragments. यहाँ पे fragments means pieces, different pieces. The total world you see there on the name of rich, poor, color, caste, creed, religion, gender. Their society is divided into different fragments, pieces. Now I want such society, I want such freedom where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic walls. What kind? How the world is divided into fragments? By narrow domestic walls. What is narrow domestic walls? Narrow domestic walls, color, caste, creed, religion, rich, poor, differences are nothing but the domestic walls. Right? Political differences, social differences, religious differences, caste differences, all these are the domestic walls which are dividing society narrowly. A sweep cut, dividing society into many sections. And I want such society where the world is not broken by these domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of the truth. I want such society, such world, such country where the words come out from the heart. The truth should be outspoken, right? Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. What do you mean by striving, students? Struggle, tireless, endless. Tireless means endless. Endless struggle, stretches its arms. This is called stretching. Arms means, hands and legs that you walk. What is the struggle? कैसा आगे जाएगी? Our struggle को एक person जैसा imagine कर रहे. So what is this parts of speech? This line says that this is personification. Right, guys? This is personification. So where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. So I want such society where everybody, the entire society should move together to get perfection. What do you mean by perfection? Without any narrow domestic walls, everybody without any differences of color, caste, creed, religion, rich and poor differences. Such society is called a perfect society. Right? And that is called perfection. A complete society, form of a society. Right? वो पाने तक, जब तक हम सोसाइटी परफेक्ट हो जाएगा तब तक हम स्ट्रगल करते रहना. I want such society where everybody stretches their arms and struggle, fight and continuously struggle to get a perfection in the society, right? Which is not possible in India, because now you know what's happening in India, right? And across the world, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way. And where I want such society, such freedom, where the clear stream of reason. Guys, you see, reason means rationalism. हेतुवादी बोलते ना, हेतुवादी लोग, right? Everything I want reason. Why it should be like this? Why can't we remove these differences? Let us have a clear stream of reason. A stream क्या है? You know, a running water body in the forest, and in the gums you see that a small water body runs in the forest, right? That is called stream. Or even when the rain falls, you see that streams falling down and falls after waterfalls, falls down and just goes like a stream. Stream कितना clear रहते? The stream is pure water. So your reason also should be like a clear, pure stream, guys. Here, see the comparison. What is this? Metaphor. Right? In our other videos, you see, guys, we also send the video lectures of figures of speech. So before starting the poetry, listening to the poetry lectures, you must listen the figures of speech lecture so that you will understand all the poems Just like that, right? Now coming to where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habits. What a comparison, you see this. Dead habits. What do you mean by dead habits? Old customs and traditions, useless customs and traditions that we follow. Yes, we follow Hinduism, some follow Islam, some follow Christianity. Go to church, go to temple, go to mosque. But it's okay. Being too religiously fanatic, right? Is it necessary that I have to show my religion on my face? Not required, right? When festivals comes, we celebrate, that's fine. But being so superstitious, being so fanatic is a dead habit. Following always old customs and traditions. Upper caste people, they don't talk to the lower caste people. Rich people, they avoid poor. And one religious people, at Hindus or Muslims or Christians or Parsis or Jews, they maintain a difference. Narrow domestic walls maintain karte rehte. The difference is what are going on in India and across the world as well, right? Pan the world, we see these differences. So all he says that, see, lead me, take me into that country, oh God. I pray you, give me such freedom where that there should be a clear stream of reason and which has not, हमारा जो reason है, truth है, which does not lose its way into the dead habits. तो ये customs की वजह से, because of the old customs and traditions, people may lose the truth, may lose the reason of life. Because life अच्छा जीने के लिए reason चाहिए ना. We need a good reason. That scientific reason, technical reason, moral reason, social reason. All these things should balance. Then only you will have a satisfied, balanced, neat, cute life. Right? But your mind is filled with ugly things, you can't. You have to show an ugly smile. So he says that because of these dead habits, people from the clear stream of reason, they lose their way into dead habits. So see that no one follows the useless customs and traditions. He compared our dead habits like a useless desert. So is desert useful for agriculture? No way, right? You forget about Israel, except one country. Right? So desert is useless. It is not fertile. In the same way, our dead habits, our old customs and traditions, meaningless customs and traditions are useless, just like a desert. Right? So in this, we will lose the reason. Where the mind is led forward by you. God, oh God, I pray you, lead our way into such world where you lead us. God, you come and lead us. Take us forward by you. Who is thee here? Oh God, you means your God. Right? Into ever widening thought and action. See here, ever widening means very broad mind. Always, every day, day by day, our thought process should be positive, not negative, inquisitive, lucrative, positive, emotional, and feel for the nation. So always you should be ever widening thought, broad mind every day. From narrow mind to, you have to come to widening thoughts, right? And thought and action. Actions also, because your actions, your words should be wide, positive. Into that, and take us all, and oh God, into that heaven of freedom. My Father. Who is Father here? He is addressing God as Father students. Right? Into that heaven of freedom. ऐसा freedom दे दो मेरे को, जो वो freedom, my Father, let my country awake. So what kind of heaven he is asking? Where there are no fragments of world, where there are no domestic walls, where the mind is without fear, where the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world is not broken into fragments, and where there is clear stream of reason, where in such world is called heaven. जहाँ पे कलर कैस्क्री डिफरेंस नहीं रहते, where the knowledge is free, where there are no narrow domestic walls, where the head is held high, where there is no fear, that place is called heaven. And we want such heaven of freedom. ऐसा freedom को हम heaven बोलेंगे. This is called paradise, right? इंडिया में ऐसा freedom अभी मिला ही नहीं, right? But now we are getting now. We are going to something is going to happen in India now. Freedom. My Father, let my country awake all people. मतलब country मतलब पूरा लोग को जगाओ, नागरिक को, citizens को. Oh God, so freedom आने वाले हमको जल्दी से जल्दी, right? So you give such freedom to us that everybody gets complete freedom without fear, with full of knowledge, without domestic walls and all, right? Now we'll see that this poem, we are going to discuss the style of the poem and appreciation. I'll just close it in 2 minutes about the figures of speech and the style of the poem. Right? Now let's come to the poem. I repeat that the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore, and this poem is taken from his collection of poems called Gitanjali. And for this collection of poems, Gitanjali, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize of Literature in 1913, and he was the first Asian and first non-European who got this Nobel Prize for Literature. Now I told that this poem, let's discuss the poem. This poem is a free verse poem without any rhyme scheme. Did you understand? Did you see any rhyme scheme? Just go through once. Any rhyming words? Nothing, right? Over there. And if you see, all the lines are started with where. Almost all the lines have started with where. This tells that the positiveness, emotion of the poet, that and his confidence that take me to that place where there is complete freedom, take me to that place where there is no fear, take me to that place where knowledge is free, take me to that place of freedom, heaven, where there are no narrow domestic walls, where there is clear reason, where there are no dead habits, where people do not lose their way because of the old customs and traditions which are compared to desert. So everywhere you see the hope, you see the emotion, you see the positivity, right? And you see all the lines, right? Here. All these lines, you see that, right? All the lines. And this line poem is a free verse poem, no particular meter or rhyme scheme. Every line almost started with where. And my favorite line, if you see the meanings also, narrow domestic walls means division on the basis of religion, caste, class, as already said. Tireless striving, continuous efforts or struggle, and stretches its arms, aims at achieving something continuously. You want to achieve something and you stretch, you keep on working or move on till you achieve your goal. And dead habits means old customs and traditions, habits which are compared to dead habits, just like a desert. And ever widening, always broadening thought and action and outlook. Here, the way you look at the world should be broad, not narrow, right? He may be bad, they may be bad. I think they are just targeting me and they are starting something else and they are starting something else. I think he's here to harm me, right? And I have to do some harm to others. This kind of things, if elders follow, the teachers or the parents or anyone follow, children also learn the same thing. So children, you are the future citizens. If we behave bad, you do the same thing from us, right? And ever widening and heaven of freedom, right? And he says that condition of a total freedom of good thoughts, good works, good deeds while respecting others. I tell you, the place where everybody thinks good, everybody acts good, everybody feels good, everybody emotionally works, everybody respects others, that place is called a heaven. That place is called a complete freedom, place of complete freedom. So God, you wake me to that place. And coming to figures of speech, guys, I say that tireless striving, this one, personification. And you see that dreary desert of dead habit and this mind. Where is this? Reason? Yeah. Clear stream of reason. This is called metaphor. Right? Metaphor. So please, it's not a metaphor. In biology, you call it as metaphor, and in English, you have to pronounce it as metaphor. Right? Now, these are the things I would like to say, students. And now coming to, what is my favorite line? What is my favorite line? What is my favorite line? So students, we are going to do the appreciation of the poem. Remember, for every poem, we give you 2 videos. One is for the explanation of the poem. Again, you will get a 10 minutes video about the complete appreciation with the blanks. That means we will send you a scrolling of answers of all the blanks and everything and the appreciation of the poem in a separate video, and read that. Once you listen the poem, then you cool mind, you read the appreciation and try to use literature, what the exact words we use in appreciation, right? So coming back to the poem, I would like to say, coming back to the poem, where the mind is without fear, that is my favorite line. I am telling you, that is my favorite line. That is my favorite line coming to the poem. My favorite line is the first line where the mind is without fear. See that, where the mind is without fear. Very positive, right? Very positive, very sensitive, profound, deeply fresh, deeply profound and beautiful. So my all-time favorite line is where the mind is without fear, right? Here we complete the first poem, and in next video we don't explain anything, but we will get the notes of this poem, and you please start it. And there are other poem videos also. Start learning the grammar and the language poem and other language worksheets easily, and you definitely understand, right? Thanks for watching us. Have a nice time. Stay home and stay safe.